Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my first review for Season 5 of ZNation. This is for the season premiere, Episode 1. It is called Welcome to the Newpocalypse. Alright, and possible spoiler warning if you guys have not seen this episode yet for ZNation. It just aired last night. Last night turned out to be the season premiere. There was a little bit of confusion around it because I believe some of the cast and crew or whatever was on strike. And then they didn't get it done, it sounds like, by the proposed release date in September. So that date was actually wrong, and this one actually just premiered October 5th, which is unusual for ZNation because usually they premiere it in September. So I guess this is probably the earliest they could most likely get it done. So happy to hear that ZNation has got a 5th season of the show. And after seeing this premiere, I was pretty impressed by it. I thought this one had a really good feel. It sort of was... ZNation is always a tricky one in terms of how serious you have to take it, right? It's kind of like, you know, it's certainly not as serious as something like The Walking Dead, but then again, sometimes it can get a little carried away, I think, with the silliness, too, at the same time, right? And sometimes it can be really fun and really funny. This one wasn't too crazy with the silliness, but at the same time, they're bringing in this concept of talkers, so... So I thought that was pretty fun. It really mirrors The Walking Dead with the whispers in this way. And we knew they were going to kind of do this where they have the Black Rain and they have walkers that can talk or zombies and people die. And it's not so easy to tell that they're actually dead because they're still sort of conscious, so they're still talking. They're still doing whatever they're going to do. But they have an insatiable thirst or hunger for brains, right, and blood. Right? So it kind of reminds me a bit of like, you know, some of those 80s, like silly 80s movies, Return of the Living Dead, stuff like that, where you get kind of the comedy mixed in, but not quite as crazy silly because there was quite a bit of stuff in this premiere that did feel more serious. It actually reminded me a lot of Fear the Walking Dead, a character very similar to John who came into Fear the Walking Dead this year. We meet in this one, and that is that's Coope, and so he's basically, you know, very similar, like almost almost identical, you know, except he's a love interest in this one for Roberta, but he's, you know, he slings the gun slinging type of deal, lives on a ranch. She basically, so we start the episode off and she pretty much wakes up from being hurt in the drone that crashes, that she's in there from the end of season 4, and we see her make her way to a ranch, so she's just kind of barely moving, and then she passes out once she gets close by. So he takes her and he helps her heal and everything like that, and feeds her and everything. And I guess he's like a farmer, and you know, he's got quite a bit of land, so there's a lot of distance in between him and any zombies or whatever that could be coming in. And we kind of get sort of a love story between the two, kind of starting here. And at the end of the episode, she helps him, or you know, mercy, or put down his wife and daughter, who are in a car that are in sort of a shed or garage type of deal on the farm, barn type of deal on the farm. So we've got all that stuff, and most of that was pretty serious stuff. So there wasn't too much comedy or anything in that, I think, that felt like silly. There's a pretty cool scene where they have to go to get a tractor, so they have to turn the tractor on, and they're fighting a whole bunch of zombies, and they're kind of kicking them into it, and they're all getting shredded and everything by it. So that's fun, right? So that's cool. But it was mainly serious for most of that stuff. You know, most of that stuff was pretty on point and serious. Now the introduction is pretty cool because you see Doc, and it looks like it's a character death. Like you get a kind of a fake out character death here, when you have Doc, and he's at the front of a couple zombies walking towards this girl, and then you have him kind of reveal as he hits the others with a hammer, the other zombies around him, that he's blending in. So he's you know, again, playing on what we're most likely going to be seeing this season in The Walking Dead with the whispers, as he kind of, you know, knocks out these zombies around him, and reveals that he's actually not dead. He's just kind of blending right in with them and acting like them, so they don't know the difference. So that's kind of fun, right? So you got that. You've got 10K and Murphy, who are back again for this season, which is fun to see. And You have some screams of no. We find out the Doc is alive, and that's fun. And they kind of have a group that's together here. And then partway through the episode, they split. And you have Murphy, who's going to look for Roberta. And at the end of the episode, just sees some smoke that from a fire and is right on her trail. But I love the stuff with Murphy in this one because he's eating zombie brains to get the information on what they saw, which is pretty fun. Which again reminds me like some kind of 80s, like he's eating and then he gets the images or whatever, and then that leads him in a direction, right? Which is fun to find her. And I mean, the episode looks great. Like, it looks very, very well done visually. It looks awesome. It doesn't look like B-movie-ish or anything like that. I think it looks really good. It's definitely, I think, an increase in quality versus some of the stuff we've seen in earlier seasons. This one for a premiere was a premiere, so you want to handle it with care. But the cinematography and everything looked really good. There's a little bit of shaky cam, but I thought it was used well, and it just it was really cool. So the stuff with Murphy was fun as usual, and then we have the rest of the group with Doc. Well, kind of a group. I mean, it's there's a lot of them are kind of unnamed survivors, this kind of thing, and Mrs. McGillicuddy, and they go to Merica. So that's a place they've been heading to, I think, since the beginning of season 4 or so. No, okay, maybe not at the beginning, but the first few episodes of season 4, they had this idea about Merica. They heard about Merica and they started heading there. I forget exactly when it was, but it was sometime around then. And so they started heading. So in this one, we get to see that part of the group that gets there with 10K and Doc, and the others that are still remaining to be still alive. And there's basically nothing there. So they get there, it's pretty much empty, and we meet this new character, George, who I think the actress was actually in The Walking Dead. I saw some articles on that, which is kind of cool. But she isn't like that prompt. There was a lot of characters in The Walking Dead, during all that war and stuff. So that's kind of cool. But she's in this one, and so she's basically giving the talkers like some Z cookies or Z treats, which satisfy their hunger and thirst for brains and keep them at bay, so they can still be productive and everything, because they can talk, they can think for the most part, except they just go into zombie mode every so often after the Black Rain. So you get the concept of talkers versus just simply walkers. They're still conscious in some way, which could yield some interesting storylines if zombies are able to collaborate together and organize some kind of attacks and things like this. Could be kind of cool to see what they do with that. And that's pretty much, want to say that's united we live, divided we turn. So maybe Merica, just the start of possibly something that could become something, but right now it's basically it's next to nothing. But there are some people around, it sounds like, around the area, so some different outposts and such, so maybe they can all join together and create some kind of government here or something like that this season. So I like the premiere for ZNation. It was not as silly as what we're used to, but it still had some kind of comedy and silliness, kind of mixed in some jokes. A little bit of dry humor at the end there with this Dante. They're talking about how dead people can vote too now, so it's kind of funny. He's got like sunglasses on and stuff. So there's some funny parts all throughout the episode. So I did enjoy that, but then at the same time, there was certain parts, especially stuff with Roberta, that was taken pretty seriously, and I thought was delivered really well. It didn't really feel, those parts for me didn't really feel so much like something you'd see in ZNation. They felt like something you'd see more in a more serious series that isn't really based around comedy. So I thought this one had a pretty good mix, where it wasn't as silly as usual for ZNation. It was more serious for a lot of it, and it still had enough of the comedy and Murphy mixed in to make it fun at the same time. So I enjoyed the premiere. I'm going to give it an 8.6 out of 10. I thought it was really good. And, I missed some of season 4 of ZNation, so I'm kind of a little bit out of it with regards to certain things that happened in season 4 that I never did get caught up on. So maybe I'll have to go back and watch some of those to see. But this didn't feel like too bad of a jumping on point for me. It felt like you can kind of understand where they're going with the storyline, and even if you missed a few episodes, it's not that big of a deal. So I liked the episode. I thought it was a good feel for ZNation, a little bit more serious than usual, but also still faithful to kind of the comedy and kind of a little bit of the silliness when it makes sense to do so, like the Merica stuff. So, pretty good premiere for ZNation. Let's see what else they have for this season. And again, with this series as well, too, I'm just not sure what the future of the series is going to hold. Will it get a 6th season? Will it not? Are they going to wrap up ZNation sometime soon? Really hard to tell. But while it's still on, I'm still enjoying it. It's still fun. And I did like this potential kind of more serious kind of approach to Z Nation that we aren't that used to seeing. Usually it's more on the silliness, further on the silliness meter than this one was. So let me know what you guys thought. If you got a chance to check out the premiere for Season 5 of Z Nation, leave your comments below. And if you like this video, please thumb it up below. You can also share, you can favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it, and you can do it. You can subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this one. See you guys again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace later, guys. See you soon.